Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of Stop, Look, and Listen. I'm your host, LeTroy Gardner. This week, we have a brother that has seen it all, done it all, and has lived to fight another day and is making the most of it. He's an author, he's a podcaster, he's an entrepreneur. He's just doing amazing things in Chocolate City. We got Marcus Braxton. Welcome to the show, Marcus.
Thank you. How you doing today?
I am doing wonderful. Glad to have you, man. So, let's start off. How did you get the nickname Scales?
Scales. I am a Libra, so we'll contribute that to Libra scales. Um, but honestly, I was known to be able to scale things with my eyes.
Uh huh.
They call that in the urban neighborhoods, being able to eyeball work.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I see what you're getting at. So, I mean, yeah. So, yeah, Libra scales, and then
Yeah.
also making it out there, hustling and grinding and whatnot. But yeah, just take us back to the beginning. Talk about your journey growing up, and I guess having that scales expertise.
Okay. I grew up in Washington D.C., Southeast. One of the roughest parts of the city. It's two parts of Southeast Washington D.C. and the side I grew up on is called the dirty side of Southeast. Um, Started off, I had to figure it out. Single parent house home. I had to figure out some type of money and started off pumping gas, carrying groceries, doing whatever to make a dollar. Found out the hustling game after finding out how to shoot dice. Made a little money shooting dice, and then started getting into the hustling game. Selling, narcotics, weed, stuff like that, and wind up from that learning how to run a business. I know that's strange, but you learn different techniques and things of how money moves. So that was my introduction to real money, and I learned how to maneuver it, how to turn $2 into four, $2 into six, how to actually hustle. From there, I went on to, as most people do, had a nice lucrative rap career. Hate to go too fast, but let me back up a little bit. What made me different from a lot of others was I was taught the game of chess at 11 years old, and I beat my teacher within that first year. Uh, I'm a very educated listener, so I'm able to listen and learn. When I what I took from chess is thinking ahead, thinking 4 or 5 moves ahead, and it taught me how to really think. Um, so that put me ahead of a lot of other competitors or friends, foes. They they were not on my level. So that put me way ahead. So I stayed with the hustling game, but I kept the strategic mindset. Uh, and I wound up getting a nice rap career. Uh, but uh, um, I wasn't content with how the game worked. So I changed it far as I started bootlegging CDs and selling my own CD. So I made money from my own CD. Buying CDs for 15 cents. I was selling singles for $1, selling the whole album for 5. I was always a hustler. Like I said, I had 9 mixtapes. I made money off of every mixtape. Um, so that's a little bit from the beginning, from the birth up into the rap career. After the rap career, in between the rap career, I held down various jobs. One in particular, I was a Domino's manager for off and on for 20 years. Um, but after the rap career and work for Domino's, I decided I really didn't want to work for anyone else. Is That's how I left Domino's. It was back then we was making $8 an hour. So 8 times 8 is 64. So I was like, $64 a day. And I figured, man, I can make if I can make that without clocking in, then that's what I want to do. Um, from there, I went on to make a lot of money off every mixtape. I went to California. I recorded in Def Jam Aftermath Studios. I had a nice little career with the rap game. From there, started my own business, Digital World Streaming Solutions, which I that is my cable company. I am the CEO. Established 2021. 5-star cable company. 4.9 according to Google. 4.9 according to Google. Streaming service. From there, I stayed as the business owner, running my own business, and I wanted to venture off to other things. Unfortunately, I had a little bad luck, or uh, would say I got locked up for something I didn't do, and that's when I started writing the book. Um, do you want to chime in before I get into that? You want to?
Yeah, I think yeah, let's get into that part before we go into the redemption story and
Got
like
you, got
how you became an author. But yeah, just take us back to that moment when your life changed and you ended up incarcerated for that crime that you didn't commit.
you. Yeah. So, as I stated, I'm not gonna go into details, but police come, I get arrested, I get taken to the hospital. I'm actually injured. Uh, so I get in jail. I'm thinking, I'm about to come home and this, that, and the third. Like most people who get locked up think especially when they believe innocent, they gonna get out. And that's not the case with a lot of urban folks who do not have that lawyer money up front. If you don't have
Hmm.
that 20, $30,000, 10, $15,000, it's gonna be a task. But I'm in there, I'm locked up, I'm awaiting trial, and it just keep getting pushed back and pushed back. As I stated, I had my own business, so I had my own place for 5 years. And I wound up losing it all, slowly but surely losing it all. But I'm incarcerated, waiting trial. We're in a corner. It's a 3-cell corner of avid readers. Three different cells, avid readers. And I continuously heard the same thing. I read that already. I read that already. You ain't got something else? I read that already. I read that already. You ain't got something else? And I was like, you know what? I know what y'all ain't read. You ain't read what I'm about to write. You ain't read what I'm about to write. So I had pulled out my sheet of paper. I write down a lot of things. Strangely enough, I listen to Jim Rohn a lot. But anyway, I write down a lot of things. I take a lot of notes. I make a lot of goals. So I pulled out my sheet of paper. I had wrote down 10 different book titles.
Hmm.
And Sunroof Hitters is one of them. And I say, okay, this is this fitting for the setting because people like Urbans, it's called taking you out there. When you're incarcerated and you're locked up, and majority of the time you're in a cell, um, getting took out there is being, if you read something so intriguing that it takes your mind outside of the cell, it's called taking you out there. And that's is no bigger value inside a penitentiary or inside of a jail than being taken out there.
Hmm.
So with that knowledge, I took a lot of stuff from my life. This is not a documentary. None of this stuff is true. It's a fiction book. But when you look at the schools, the elementary schools, the junior high schools, the neighborhoods, they are my neighborhoods. It's DC at its rawest pitch. Like you're if you when you get to read this book, you can check the Amazon reviews. You're going to be drawn in. You're going to feel like you're in DC. You're going to feel like you're in Southfield. You're going to feel like you know the characters. So I did like 3, 4 chapters and passed it around in the corner. And they was like, yeah, man, hey, man, that's tight. It's good. So I get to chapter 6, 7. And they like, okay, yeah. So by the time I get to chapter 10, as I stated, I play chess. And I play chess a lot. So I'm on the tier playing chess, and I get someone come tap me on the shoulder like, hey, man, what you doing? I'm like, look at him crazy, like, playing chess. It's like, nah, man, you need to get back in your cell and you need to finish writing some more chapters. So I'm like, okay, all right. I take it as, all right, whatever. I finished playing chess. Dude. Somebody else come to me like, nah, like, we serious. Like, you need to go back and finish writing some more chapters. So I hear him, I go to, after the day in, I don't take it that serious. Next day I'm playing handball. I love playing handball. And I get the same situation. Then I'm like, okay, they serious. They serious to the point where I don't like their faces. So long story short, I had to go back and start writing. And once I got past chapter 10, it's going around. I wrote 2 copies. And it became a hit. It became a hit. And I kept these. Now, this so you can see. So this is, I think, chapter 3.
Yeah.
But these, so I had the chapters written and folded like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I had so many, I had to make 2 copies because I had everybody wanting, so I had 2 copies circulating, and then I had another copy I paid somebody to write it over neatly in a composition book, so I would have a backup copy. But it became a hit. Everybody encouraged me to keep on going and keep on writing. Um, and before you know it, my trial came up. 18 months of being locked up. Um, Continuously writing, and I finished 17 chapters while I was incarcerated, and I got found not guilty in 45 minutes. 45 minutes. A
Nice.
lot of people don't know I was facing a lot of time, but I got found not guilty in 45 minutes. I came home and I kept my promise to myself and to the people that were in PGDOC. Shout out to all the people who were there who encouraged me to keep writing. Um, and I finished 24 chapters. A lot of 5-star reviews on Amazon, and it's a hit, man. It's a hit, man.
Yeah. So like I like that you covered how the fellow inmates encouraged you. It's like they saw the gift and they wanted to push you to continue to finish what you started. A lot of times people don't have that support system while they're in prison. They're alone and um, there's no love inside or outside. Like just talk about how that motivated you to, you know, complete this passion project.
Well, it's 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 who you are. Wherever you are, you're gonna be you. So I hear what you're saying. Like, a lot of people are alone. They might be alone when they were outside. If you're charismatic, if you're funny, if you're easygoing, if you're a hustler, you're gonna be a hustler in there. Um, I was a vegan before I went in there for 12, 14 years. So, and I really don't eat sweets. I'm kind of a health nut. So when I went in there, I'm a hustler. I wound up being the store. So I was selling food. Someone encouraged me to sell food. So I was a big part of the whole community. Um, Now, what really got me really driven? Shout out to my man Glock. My man Glock, he's from Southeast as well, and I gave him the book. And so when I went back to check on him, he was in his cell and he looked like he was sad. Like he was like you see somebody like paralyzed type of and I'm like, what's going on, man? What's up? What's going on, Flop? He said, man, that joint took me out there, man. I used to walk past Simon Elementary every day. I know you can hear me cracking up because I can visualize it. And that type of impact, effect, that you can't get a better motivation. Like, like he really pushed me. Like he was out there. He was mad because he was still locked up, but the book just took him out of the jail. So when you hear the statement, they cannot lock your mind up, that is the truest statement that you can ever say to anybody that's locked up, because you can take your mind outside of there. I lived outside of the jail while my body was incarcerated. I seen what I was capable of doing and what I wanted to do and what I was going to do before I done it. Anything that was made that had to be seen before it was made or thought of, and so it was seen in their mind. So that him, a couple of other guys when I was writing, got corrected me. He was like, "Man, who was Big Bertha?" I was like, he was like, "Nah, uh, Bill was in love with Big Wanda." So I had to go back and erase that type of love, attention to detail, that type of support. Like you said, the support that kept me driven. It was a comedian. He got out before I did. And his name was Marcus as well. Strangely, he told me, he's like, "This the best book I ever wrote." He said, "Bruh, if I see you again and you ain't finished this book, we gonna have a problem." So shout out to Marcus the comedian. I got the book, it's finished. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm definitely excited, man. Yeah, the support that I got from the readers, it changed my mindset, and so therefore it changed my life.
Beautiful.
Dr. Todd McLean provides periodontal and dental implant services in 2 convenient locations. They offer over a decade of experience treating patients, and appointments can even be scheduled in the evenings, weekends, or early mornings. Give them a call in Chapel Hill at 919-537-9774 or in Durham at 919-484-8338, or visit them online at gumsandimplants.org.
So like just talk about like once you were back home and you left with nothing but the chapters to the book. Just talk about the steps towards getting it published.
Okay, I come home and it's in this form, and this is one of the best chapters. Master extra tips. And my sister, I love my sister Bree, Sabrina. I love her, and I begged her because she's extremely intelligent to assist me. And she said, AI is available now. You need to try to figure out some type of editing software. And I'm like, okay. Um, and as I said, I write my goals down. It's just about writing things down. What you want something, write it down. Write it down till you get it. Write it down every day till you get it. And I started taking notes. I went to YouTube. Found Grammarly. Grammarly is your friend.
Hmm.
Found Grammarly. Then I found chat. Then I found another, a couple of. So you use when you're out here, you have access to the WWW, the Wild Wild West, the World Wide Web. So
Right.
utilize your resources, and you can be more resourceful than you think. And once I started combining stuff, I had 17 chapters. It ended with 24. Uh, my sister, me and her sat down every morning. I took time away and I stopped doing certain things. And I said, I'm gonna finish this book. And after a while, it start coming together. Me and her would talk and exchange information. She's writing a book right now, and we eventually got through it, and it still was obstacles. But you got the www, and I went to Amazon's favorite podcasters and book. I think his name's Sean is Dio a Dalward or something like that. But his name is Sean. He showed me a lot of things that helped me finalize it, like far as to how to create the book cover. And the book cover was actually drawn while I was incarcerated by hand. So I took that book cover and then I put that in the chat, and it gave me a couple of different designs, and it's used Canva. It's a lot of different tools that I utilize, but it's all research. Research. That's why most companies have research and development departments, because
Right.
the more you research, the better your product will come out. And once I figured out how to self-publish, because I wanted to go the other way, the traditional way, everybody wants to charge you money. They wanted to talk to you. Hey, give me $25 for a 25-minute conversation about us possibly investing in your book. So me being a hustler, I said I'm gonna self-publish, and I figured out through Amazon, and it's extremely easy. It's extremely easy after you put all the work in, and you go through all of the hard parts of getting the right letter format, getting the right spacing in between the paragraphs, like these tedious things that you don't account for. Because as I said, it came from this. It came from no, you don't account from these things. So it's a long process, but as if anything, if you stay dedicated to it and you stick with it, continuously work on it, you're gonna get through it. And that's what I did. Every morning I woke up, I set aside 2 hours. Okay, whatever I have to do is gonna be done after these 2 hours, because this book has to be finished. So after doing everything I needed to do, I signed over Amazon. Um, and then it took off. I figured out how to do the ebook first, and then the paperback, and I'm working on the hardcover. The hardcover will be out before the end of this month, and the audiobook is also going to be available before the end of this month. So a lot of people don't know what goes into that. You have to actually hold interviews with people that do readings for your book. Is it 3,000? You put 3,000 words up from your book, and they come in audition, and then you select, and then you have to pay these people. They either want a flat fee or they want a percentage of every audiobook sold.
Hmm.
So it's a lot to this book making process, book selling process. But I'm in. I'm all in. I learned the process to the point where I can duplicate it. I can assist others. And my next book, before the part two of this one, is going to be a chess manual where it relates to life. Is part of my next project, which is my nonprofit, Think First Chess and Entrepreneurship. As I stated before, I learned chess at 11. I believe it changed my life. And with the youth crime rate in the city, I believe it's time for me to give back. And I want to teach chess. And you're not going to be able to save them all, but I want to teach it to the youth and help them change their mindset and start getting the community better. So I'm going to create the next book, chess book, where it relates to life and how you can learn from mistakes on the chessboard, just as in life. So this you won't do the same thing if you keep making a mistake on the chessboard. You'll see it. So it relates the same way in life. If you keep getting those results, you need to try something else. Um, so those are some of the things moving forward from what I've learned. How this book baking processing has educated me. I want to help this other one of my cable customers. Shout out to Late Night out there. She's real hot on TikTok. She needs a cookbook. She's 8,000 followers on TikTok. She doesn't have a cookbook. She's got the recipes. So guess what I have? Now that I've learned what you just
That
asked me about,
infrastructure.
I have the recipe to make the book for her. And I'm going to get my co-writing credits, and I may get a little, ends on that part, but it's the love that I'm going to be able to give back what I've learned from educating myself, doing the research on how to make a book, that I can duplicate this. Once you learn something, a marketable skill is sometimes better than a lot of different education. So if you learn something and you can duplicate it, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just continue doing it on, rinse and repeat.
Okay. So like you mentioned chess and how you want to use that as a conduit to like give the kids something to do and keep them out of trouble and save them. Like how did you feel about the president pretty much bringing in law enforcement to the streets of DC to try to control crime, or well, they say control crime, but pretty much take over the streets of DC and undermine the mayor's leadership? Was it
Well,
necessary?
that was. I don't think it was necessary, but in all honesty, in some facet, it may have been warranted. I personally believe that the agenda was bigger than that, and I seen with my own two eyes what most people do not see. A lot of people see on YouTube and see. No, I walk through the streets. I ride a bike. I ride a bicycle. E-bikes. The what I've seen, what they've done, it was bigger than just targeting the urban community. They did that. They did that a whole lot. Do not get that twisted. But because the way the laws have changed in DC, and they really not targeting marijuana that much. Most people and most drug dealers, not all of them, but most alleged drug dealers in DC, they don't have nothing but weed. So all of that targeting that they did, it didn't do anything but harass people. Like it didn't. So it wasn't. It was more so, I believe, towards ISIS. I seen so many different agencies that, like, they had everybody together. ATF, ISIS, FBI. Like, you would not. It was amazing. This is the scariest thing I've ever seen in the 47 years of my life in Washington, D.C. They can come, do whatever they want, take your bag, open it up. It was more so, I believe, for the numbers. If you go back to season 5 of The Wire, you can see the game that they ran with the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about the convictions, it's about the arrest. So when you go back, he can say, hey, we did this many arrests, so the crime is down. Yeah, the crime is down. Everybody's running. Was it effective? Yes, it was effective. But what was the agenda? Was it right? No, I don't believe it was right. The violation of rights is at an all-time high. But it's a lot of different ways to look at it. If you're an urban individual, if he's really gonna deport all of the foreigners, who's the jobs gonna be left for? Are all black people gonna start running the curry outs and the tobacco shops? And we're controlling our own communities? Hey, if that's the case, and I'm not saying that's a great idea, but I'm saying if that's the end result, the impact would be beneficial for Black America. If that's what's gonna happen, I don't see, if you send everybody back and it's just white and Black America. I don't believe it's gonna be white people at these tobacco shops, running these tobacco shops. I don't believe that. At these liquor stores, at these in our communities, at the cash registers.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that?
No, definitely not.
So a lot of different ways to look at it. But to answer your question, no, it was wrong as two left feet, I've never seen our community impacted that much. Us being that scared, and the only thing they targeted was that they were able to get to us was the alcohol. So if you have open alcohol, then they can lock you up for the alcohol. But without that, they would just come around and just harass, and then they would have to leave because we're not doing anything wrong. So it was more so for ISIS. I believe what I seen that they snatching a lot of black people or that do Uber. They complain about Spanish people. All them 7 scooters by the McDonald's. They snatching every Spanish person. I'm talking, and it's wrong. I recorded some on my other little podcast. It's completely wrong. But the effectiveness, if that's what he's saying to create the jobs for Americans that are legal, it's a couple ways to look at it. It's a couple ways to look at it. It's wrong, but it's always some good and a lot of bad.
Right. Like, what's your viewpoint on, I guess, the criminal justice system now compared to, I guess, before you were falsely accused of committing a crime?
Oh, it's what I've learned now, because I finally got the truth. It took me a minute to get the truth. Uh, I should have a lawsuit because I was in an altercation and I was supposed to be locked down before the altercation even happened. My cell wants to be open, and I got jumped, and I actually just came back from having eye surgery because of that whole situation. But I talked to lawyer after lawyer after lawyer after lawyer, and this is really important. I want you to, I don't know, make a short out of this part right here. This is extremely important. I want a lot of people to understand this or know this, get this knowledge. When you have a lawsuit against a jail or pretty much like the court systems, majority of the lawyers do not want to take your case because they don't want to go against them. And it took me, I've been out almost a year now, and I've been trying lawyers, Legal Shield, this person, that person, and most of them wouldn't give me a straight answer. And check this out. I went to chat, and I gave them my information, told them my case. They're like, yeah, you got a case. And they gave me a list of lawyers, called the first lawyer, and she gave me that answer. She said that most lawyers do not want to go, you're going against the jail, right? Most lawyers are not going to take the case because they do not want to go against the jail, whether you're right or wrong. But here's a number of a gentleman who, for lack of a better term, is risky enough to do it. So I talked to this gentleman, not going to say his name, and he was trying. Like, he was trying to give me all the information. He was really digging in. But he came to the conclusion that, and this is the most important part, after a year, your case can no longer be filed. So if you don't have real lawyer money and you don't do the research, it's going to be hard to even start the lawsuit process. So for any lawsuit, you need to have money, and you need to put the paperwork in. Even if you can get the paperwork in somehow yourself and then have the lawyers to come back and follow up on the process, you need to have the process in before a year, or whatever they did to you, whatever was wrong, it doesn't matter. So that's one of the biggest things I learned from being incarcerated. And it's something I want to do about it. I don't know what I can do about it besides educating people so they don't make the same pitfalls. But I look at the law system a lot different from a more knowledgeable standpoint. I mean, the laws are what they are, and America's been built on the way that they set the laws up. So I'm not going to be mad at all the laws that are made, because without the laws, there's no structure. But they're not. helpful to us. They're not built for us,
Mm-hmm.
urban people.
Right. Um, yeah, you said a lot right there, and we'll definitely clip that up and release it. That you always feel like the world is against you, and the educational piece is imperative in order to make sure the next person has some sort of path to fight the system. So, like, what advice do you have for anyone trying to turn pain into purpose?
Write it down. That's my biggest piece of advice. Write it down. Anything that you want to do, write it down. Wake up. Don't just go to social media and look at other people's life. Write your goals down. Write 3 at a time. Write 2 at a time. Or focus on one and do something every day to move closer to that goal. When you concentrate on it, you keep it in your head, you keep it in your heart, and then you can make it come from your head, your heart, from your mind, and then you can produce it, and it can become physical. So write it down, and and keep the faith.
Mm-hmm. All right, so like quickly tell us about Digital World Streaming Solutions and Block Boy Sports Talk.
Okay, Digital World Streaming Solution. It was established 2021. I took the knowledge that I gained from being a manager at Domino's for 20 years. The knowledge that I gained from them was P&Ls, profit and loss statements, um, learning how to run profit and loss, seeing where the money goes, and know how to manage the money and see the profit and see the loss. So when I took that from them, I said I wanted to start my own business. I ventured off into digital world streaming solutions. I created the name, and it's a streaming company. Um, and when I set it up through the DCRA, it was a process just like the bookmaking process, and I stuck with it. And I went out past the flyers. I was just like I did for Domino's, door to door, hand to hand. I made them so much profit over years, doing the same thing, waking up every Sunday while rental offices are closed, passing out flyers and getting the money for them. But it changed because now every person who calls is calling me direct for my service, and I benefited almost immediately. I mean, I went up, but I didn't know about the invoicing system, how to track customers. I was trial and error, but after a while, I got it together. I have QuickBooks, I send invoices. I do a lot of promotions, still the same way I promoted for Domino's. I put the flyers out. It's an alternative to Digital World Streaming Solutions. It's a streaming service alternative to paying $400 a month for cable, where you're paying $20, $30 a month, and you get to watch, certain channels, sort of like a Netflix or Hulu or Tubi, something like that. So it became a nice, very valuable thing to me and to others, and a lot of people tried it, and Google it. Digital World Streaming Solutions with 4.9 star service. So yeah, that is Digital World Streaming Solutions. That's my core. That's my heart. That's where everything started. That's my business. That's my income. Now, Block Boy Box Talk, Block Boy Sport Talk. That's the podcast. Now, my rap name was Scales, and a lot of people had the rap name Scales. So I changed my rap name to The Block Doc, DA space block space DOC. Like I said, 9 mixtapes. It did very well. The Block Doc turned from that. I used the same YouTube channel as this podcast, and I sat on the couch one day. I'm a big boxing fan, and we was just talking. Young man, me and my friend, I wanted my friend to start a podcast. My rapping partner, Frankie Dollars. Shout out to Frankie Dollars, Mister Who They Want More. And he didn't. So I just started playing with it, and I started doing predictions because I know how to fight. I know how to box. And 2 big ones I got right. I got Tank Davis knocking Rolly Romero out in the 6th round. I picked the round and everything. And I got Dimitri Bivol defeated Canelo Alvarez, and almost nobody predicted that. So people started following me, and it was a joke. It wasn't a joke. I was having fun. I finally got a good co-host, and he know a whole lot about sports. And then we branched off from just being Block Boy Box Talk, from sitting on the red couch doing the boxing channel, to the sports talk, where we now he's on the Michael Collier morning show every Monday with their sport talk section, and then we go on live after them like 1 o'clock on my channel, on our channel, so to speak. The channel's been revamped. It's still we still have we changed it from Block Boy Box Talk to Block Boy Sport Talk, where we cover all facets. We give parlays, college football, and it's been blowing up. We've had various celebrity guests, different boxing coaches, different boxers. Our next one, I believe, we should be getting Mark Too Sharp Johnson on. We're gonna do the predictions for the Benavidez Anthony Yarde fight that's coming up this Saturday. So it's a big prediction sport podcast, but it started me sitting on the couch. The name came from my rap name. And it's been blowing up. It's definitely been blowing up. We went live yesterday, had a very successful live yesterday. And that's definitely what I want to do. That's my primary, that's my priority right now. Besides the book, I'm at the promotion part of the book. So at the building part, I'm at the podcast. I'm building the podcast up right now.
Right. All right. So, like, I mean, who do you feel is on like DC's Mount Rushmore of sports? I mean, you have all of your Georgetown legends. You have, um, the Redskins, Commanders, especially from the Joe Gibbs era, and you have, Ovechkin. But yeah, like I said, a lot of boxers, a lot of athletes that grew up there that went to other colleges and excelled. So who would you put on there besides Allen Iverson? Because he has to be on there. He's my favorite basketball player.
You said DC. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where Ali is from, but DC on the. I don't know. It's so many, man. It's so many, man. It's so many. It's too many. It's too many to decide. I don't want to shame nobody, man. I really don't. I'm not even gonna let you put me on the spot like that, because that'd be a lot. But shout out to Roach, man. Shout out to Roach, man. He's put a lot of light on the city since he really defeated Tank, but he didn't get the W in the ring.
Hmm.
So shout out to Roach Jr., man. He's been the light of DC since he's done that on the boxing, knowing people knowing, like really knowing from DC, because you can get to Roach, you can talk to Roach, like he's
Right.
not fake, so to speak. So shout out to Roach. I put him on the forefront of our Mount Rushmore right now because the eyes is on him.
Okay. All right. So like you mentioned you're writing Sunroof Hitters Part Two, and you have another book cooking in the oven.
Hmm.
Um, you're doing Block Boy Sports Talk. You're working with bringing chess to the hood.
Yeah, the
What?
nonprofit organization, Think First Chess and Entrepreneurship, whereas I'm gonna teach them chess, and that's why I didn't go in a little detail about the entrepreneurship part. By me being the business owner, I would like to teach us that not to be so much consumers. We can be business owners. So that is part of the Think First Chess and Entrepreneurship, teaching these young youth to be business owners as well.
Hmm. All right. Yeah. So like, um, what else? What else is on horizon? Because I know, I know just from this conversation, you are, um, you always find something to get your hands on. So like, what else?
After that, I plan on. I've already. If you go on YouTube, Sunroof Hitters page, I did chapter two. With the technology that's out, I've kind of made it like the clip is all motion. It's all motion. It's AI generated, but it looks movie like. It looks
Hmm.
movie like. And if you read the book, you'll understand that's chapter 2. So I do want to get into. I've talked to a couple of people at Howard that want to start turning some of it into scripts. So I'm gonna venture off into that aspect, and maybe that you'll see this on a big screen, maybe on a small screen, either a TV series or a movie. So I want to get into that aspect, but I definitely want to continue teaching. I want to assist people in book writing as well.
Right. All right. So, like, where can we find Sunroof Hitters?
You can find Sunroof Hitters on Amazon. This is available ebook. The ebook is currently $4.99. Will be going on sale for 99 cents Black Friday. Um, the paper book copy is $19.99. The hardcover will be up before the end of the month. And it's on a lot of other platforms. If you Google it, it'll come up. It's on so many platforms. I started to confront some of these people, but Amazon. That's just to say, Amazon does a good job of pushing your product out and putting it in various places. So shout out to Kindle, KDP, and shout out to Amazon.
All righty. All right. You have a parting shot you want to leave us with, Marcus, before we close out?
A parting shot. Um, Everybody, I would like to say, everybody, never give up on your dream. Write it down, believe it until you achieve it. And never give up. Stay focused. Keep driving. Keep going. If I can do it, you can do it. This is a world of opportunity. America is so open that people will swim. It's one of my favorite sayings. They will swim across the ocean just if I could just get to America, just to get an opportunity. Don't not take advantage of the opportunity that you already have in America, because people come here to do whatever just to get these opportunities. Understand that it's an opportunity that you have every day you wake up. Be grateful. Chase your dreams. Don't look at everybody else's.
Marcus Scales, Braxton. Sunroof Hitters available now on Amazon. Yep, continue doing what you're doing, brother. Continue, um, empowering the community, educating, providing opportunities, and like you're gonna continue to be blessed.
Thank you. Follow me on all platforms. Marcus L. Braxton SR. That's YouTube. And that's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Also, Block Boy Sport Talk and Sunroof Hitters on YouTube.
And for Stop, Look, and Listen, I'm your host, LeTroy Gardner. See you next week. Peace and blessings.
Peace.